everyone, myself Dr. Suketu Jani from Indus University, Department of Automobile Engineering. I am going to deliver a talk on electric vehicles. So basically electric vehicles is a kind of future perspective for worldwide scenario. Especially if I talk about the India, the emerging countries or developing countries like India, what exactly the electric vehicles are about to penetrate. Means yet to penetrate, but there is a huge potential for this kind of technology in the transportation segment of India. So electric vehicles, so I'll begin with this session with one quote which has been quoted by one of the scientists, that is, the future is coming sooner than we think. So as you can say, you can see the future perspective is coming sooner than what we are thinking. So it's we are in the era 2020, but yet to explore lot many things which are happening all over the world. So you might have heard the different news, different articles where they are addressing the different issues, challenges and the application of electric vehicles in today's scenario. So electric vehicles, so I would say electric vehicles are not exactly the battery operated vehicles. The people perceive according to their their understanding related to electric vehicles. So basically there are different categories in the electric vehicles, and before that that I will discuss that how many types are there and what exactly each category stands for and the application part. But prior to that, let us understand what exactly the requirement, why the field is booming, why that electric revolution is required in the current scenario. So you might have seen that 14 major cities are most polluted cities, in which the India is having a maximum cities which are affected by this poor air quality index. And many people, like on an average 70 to 75% of the people, this is a survey, the data is taken from the survey conducted by different research agencies, are saying that this particular air quality index is increasing day by day because of the pollution, and due to that the number of people are suffering from the respiratory system related diseases. And also, but totally right now it is a totally different thing, because due to the COVID, that air quality index and all such things gets improved. But on the contrary, if you look at to the previous numbers, where there are huge impact of the pollution, and that is why to combat the pollution, the electric vehicle is the best solution. And for that, the entire world and the countries like India are very keen about the adoption of the electric vehicle. But my friends, I am telling you, this is yet not explored fully, because if we look at to the numbers, there are till 2070 only 9 lakh vehicles were sold, electric vehicles were sold. That shows the huge potential. If you see the annual the annual sales of the Indian vehicles, that would be only just 1% of total vehicles which are being sold, right? So out of that 9 lakh vehicle, which is less than 1 million, you'll see the number of majority vehicles are only two-wheelers. So for four-wheelers, yet a huge scope is lying with the countries like India, where the population is day by day increasing. Plus, fleet management is also a key issue and the challenge which we are facing, that like a traffic and the public transportation. All such things will be also taken care if we design the system, or we can go for the ecosystem, parallel ecosystem like electric vehicle. So that electric vehicles, as I said, so has a different types, or the electric cars having a different types. So the first is the conventional conventional electric vehicles, right? That is also known as a conventional hybrid vehicle vehicle system. The another one is the PHEVs. The PHEVs is the plug-in hybrid electric vehicles, and the third one is known as a BEV, that is a battery electric vehicles. So which is fully run on the batteries, where the battery systems are mounted on the chassis, and it will serve as a the primarily power source for the motors which are mounted on the backside will propel the vehicle. So in this particular type of vehicles, there will be a no IC engine. So that phasing out of that IC engine is also a big challenge for current vehicle or the current sales and the market of Indian scenario. So plug hybrid electric vehicles is a quite old practice, or we can say the technology which has been adopted by the countries, different countries all over the world. So plug-in hybrid vehicles, where it will increase the range of the vehicle partially, not a fully, but it will support along with the IC engine. That plug-in hybrid vehicle option is also available, that will increase the overall running of the vehicle. But while in case of conventional system like Toyota Prius, which was built by the Japanese automaker Toyota, and it was a kind of, the revolution came all of a sudden in around 1997, where the 18,000 units were sold by the Toyota Prius. The third category is, as I said, battery electric vehicles, which is fully run by the battery power packs, where the number of batteries are assembled together, and there will be a charger, onboard charger, which will supply and which will create the propulsion for the entire vehicle system. So I'll start with the history, that how the things evolved from the 1830 to till now. There are different phases, basically you can categorize in 3-4 different phases where the development evolved, but initially it was developed by that is Scottish engineer Anderson, who actually built the first prototype of electric vehicle in around 1830 to 1830, between 34. So after that, in year 1834, there was a engineer, US based company, that is Thomas Davenport, who built the first electric carrier, which was attached with the track, and he used basically 2 types of electromagnets to propel the carriage with the short distance. After that, as I said, all the different German scientists and the other countries have started and thinking about this electric vehicle option, as in the direction of zero emission and e-mobility, sustainable solution. But the very first breakthrough was achieved by the actual technology, or the innovation came out from the Japan, as I said. So the first electric vehicle or the prototype was built by the Anderson. It's a Scottish engineer, and later it was further developed as a electric carrier by the Thomas Davenport in year 1834, right? After that, the actual innovation, or innovation has come from the Japan in 1997, where they came up with this car called as a Toyota Prius, and they started selling commercially in the year 1997, where the more than 18,000 units were sold. So by looking at this particular numbers, the entire world and the entire the fraternity of auto manufacturer have started rethinking their existing practices and their existing vehicle manufacturing aspect. And later on, then the very first car which was built by the General Motors, that was Chevrolet Chevy, which was also built in 2001. That also got the quite attention as a the most reliable vehicle in that time. Further, it was again extended by the other manufacturers like Tesla. Tesla came into the picture and came into the existence just because of this electric vehicle segment. The very first model which they have built around year 2010, that was the Roadster, which became a very popular among all the the users or the occupants, or you can say the passengers. They are going for this solution, sustainable solution. So how actually the electric vehicle works? That is a functional aspect of that electric vehicle. So instead of fuel tank, which is normally there in all the IC engine or in all the commercial vehicles which are being sold or which are being used by the different purposes, where that fuel tank is mounted, from the fuel tank, the fuel is coming out. There are different systems in IC engine which will burn the fuel and will provide the power to the engine, and subsequently the same power is getting transferred through the transmission system through clutch and different assemblies, and the vehicle is being propelled. Well, with the same modus operandi, the electric vehicle is also works, but in place of IC engine there will be a battery pack, right? There are different types of batteries which are being used in automobile application. So you might have heard about this lead acid batteries, but this is something different, which is also known as LIBs, lithium ion batteries, which are there nowadays in all the electric vehicles. So lithium ion batteries, why it has become a popular and why the manufacturers are adopting and why they are using it, that is also the interesting aspect to consider the role of electric vehicle. So the LIBs are basically lithium ion batteries. As I said, you can easily correlate it with this term with the batteries which are used in mobile phones, laptops. So very compact in size, very high energy dense batteries. Energy dense battery, that means the kilowatt hour capacity, right? That kilowatt hour capacity defines the battery capacity, means how long it can sustain without the before the charging gets over. So this electric dense batteries are nowadays there in particular scenario, and by year 2020 at the end of this year, probably the few manufacturers are targeting to achieve the 310 kilowatt per hour, the capacity of energy density capacity of the LIBs, which is significantly you can say the achievement, and by single recharge you can able to travel, or the driver can drive around 400 kilometers. These are some proven data and tested by some authorized agencies with respect to electric vehicle. So that battery packs are basically charged with the help of external charger, normally AC charger, right? So all those AC the ports are available. So through the port, as I said, plug-in, you can do the plug-in where if you have the facility at home, because there are different types of charging station. Some may be they are going for work and they are having a facility over their workplace where they can do the charging. Some are maybe doing or preferring the overnight charging at home itself, where the AC chargers are mounted in the parking lot, or some areas where the reserved space is there, where the company will set up the entire dedicated charging center like AC charger, and the batteries are getting charged, and it takes around 8 to 10 hours for the slow charging, because the temperature is also playing an important role, because that vehicles also contain the thermal management system, the thermal cooling system for the entire battery pack, because the safety aspect is also important, because to attract the people or to attract the users towards the adoption of electric vehicle, the safety aspects are very important. And second thing is the upfront cost, because upfront cost of the battery is too high right now. It's around $140 per kilowatt what they are currently charging. So because of that, if you go for this current market for the purchasing of vehicle, you will get a vehicle 10 to 15 lakh minimum, right? So 10 to 15 lakh, 10 lakhs, 20 lakh is not a that easy for the people who are staying or residing in the India to just give for the vehicle. So that is also key issue and the challenges. And second thing, as I said, the infrastructure, that as I said, the control to control this battery operations, that the continuous monitoring is required, and for that the components like battery management systems are mounted in these electric vehicles, which will continuously check the temperature parameter, the different voltage, the current, all such parameters through the sensor and the different systems. They are continuously monitored with the help of ECU, or we can say the VCU, that vehicle control unit, and accordingly generating signals, and will give the feedback to the system how effectively it can run. All such things is measured with the help of BMS, because without this monitoring, that battery failure can occur so easily, and it can cause a hazardous effect to the humankind, and that is why that effective temperature controlling also required. So the charging, as I said, 8 to 10 hours is a quite longer span for the person who want to charge the vehicle. And actually there are also certain different innovations are there that is called as a DC charger, which we can also say a fast charging, that is a DC charger. It will take hardly 2 to 3 hours for the electric vehicles to fully charge, where he can go for further charging 400 kilometers. So these are the again some challenges, but there are certain options that I'll also discuss how we can get rid of this the range anxiety which is normally coming into the mind of any user who are driving the electric vehicles. And nowadays there are different cars are available in the Indian market who is giving a very promising number in the range anxiety to overcome the range anxiety, that is a 400 kilometer, 350 kilometers by the electric vehicles. So on a full charge, as I said, 400 kilometers can be easily achievable. That is a fully battery electric vehicle. I am not talking about that plug-in hybrid vehicle that will assist the further the operation of the IC engine. So if you look at to the Indian electric car market till 2070, $71.1 million is the number, or we can say the market captures till 2070. What the people or what the government and the other agencies like Niti Aayog, they are looking for the further improvement to the almost 100 times. That is the $707 million for by year 2025. So as I said, till the 2017, 9 lakh vehicles were sold. I am talking about specifically in Indian context. So that out of 9 lakh vehicles, 95% of the vehicles were sold is of category of two-wheeler. So only 5%, you can understand, there is only 1 lakh of vehicle could be of four-wheeler. So still there are certain challenges, and the major challenges, as I said, is that battery operation or the upfront cost of the battery, because as I said, the battery cost is around 4 to 5 lakhs for any vehicle whose rating is approximately 18 kilowatt to 20 kilowatt, which is normally rated capacity of any electric vehicle if you go for 400 kilometers or beyond that. So that electric vehicles basically a promising option, but the thing is that the battery and the cost related to battery development. So LIB's batteries are there in place, and now the agencies and the different research organizations are dedicatedly working on it. You might have heard about the Tesla, right? That Elon Musk, the guy who joined this particular venture in around year in late 2000, he actually laid the foundation in this particular category, and he dedicatedly developed this plant that is called as a gigafactory. So gigafactory is basically looking after all the operations related to a batteries and their functional, their development, the entire supply chain, that is, you can say, the manufacturing line is being set up for exclusively for the production of this battery, LIB's battery. However, there are different types of LIBs. So LIBs, as I said, lithium ion batteries is not just mobile batteries, energy dense batteries. So it is very difficult to get the 310 kilowatt per hour for the battery pack system. There will be a huge set, or you can say the huge number of tiny cells which are integrated and which are assembled in a pack, different battery packs, and are being monitored by the BMS, that is a battery management system. So it's a very difficult situation for the manufacturers who are going for the battery production. So the key issues is the LIB batteries. As I said, the different types are there. One is NMC battery, LIBs, that is a lithium ion batteries, but there is a type called as a NMC batteries. There is nickel, molybdenum, cobalt. Anyhow, you can see the material like cobalt is always we are facing a difficulty. It was expensive one. Plus, we are also having a scarce of the availability, in terms of availability, in terms of the different operations issues, all such things will come. So NMC batteries nowadays is very popular. There are lithium titanate batteries are also there. There are different oxide batteries having some different blend where the materials are quite cheap compared to other batteries. But anyhow, the suppliers, so the manufacturers are able to cope up with the demand of 300 or 280 kilowatt per hour for all the different vehicles. So now talking about the key challenges issue is that explosion. The battery could be get easily exploded if you exceed the temperature limit. Normally the safest condition or the safest charging condition for any battery is around 60 to 80, right? Beyond that there will be ample chances of exploding the battery pack and that will entirely blow your vehicle into the air. So that is one key aspect which is required to address, and by the suppliers they are taking care, and that is why the systems like BMS and other sensor and technologies are there which will continuously monitor and bring down the temperature, or will start the charging or start the vehicle overheating by using the sensor and the IoT, like the Internet of Things technology. And there is a big advantage with this kind of vehicles, that vehicle can be easily tracked, that vehicles can be easily integrated with the modern technologies where you can keyless entry and all the features which are available now can be easily explored and can easily be implemented. And talking about the different parts of this battery vehicle. So one is that the battery, as I said. So I think I have talked about the battery systems. Now the second important the component is the motors. That is a DC motor. That's a DC. There will be different types of motor: AC motor, DC motor, synchronous motor, PMDC motor, permanent magnet motors. Then there would be the combination of that AC DC with the converter, some brushless motor, that is BLDC motor. Different categories and different types are available in the market for the supplier to get the desired solution or the desired output. But in the case of four-wheelers, specifically if I talk, then there will be a permanent magnet PMDC motors are quite preferable. So that DC motors are getting the current from the sources, that is a power source. So in place of engine, now there will be a battery pack. So that battery packs will supply the current to this motor, and the motor is comprising of different components like the elements like rotor and stator. So that stator and the rotor get excited and the electric magnetic field is generated, and because of that, that magnet starts spinning because of N and S, that is a north pole and south pole magnets. And this simple operation will work in this motor, and because of that, that rotation will take place, and then that rotation is further transmitted through the transmission system to the rear wheels, and this is how the entire system works. In between there will be some monitoring system or feedback system which will collect the data and which will analyze and accordingly create a signals for the vehicle speed, the temperature, voltage and all such things. In addition to this, there will be a onboard charger. So onboard charger, that is called as a AC/DC charger. So AC/DC charger is playing an important and vital role in this operation of battery operated vehicles, because normally the voltages which are coming out from the batteries is having a high DC voltage. I will not go into the detail how much and what the specifications are stands for the different manufacturers, but that high voltage DC is required to control, or which is required to stepping down up to a certain extent, and that is the low voltage DC. So that particular function is being done by this charger, which is also known as a onboard charger, OBC. That is onboard charger, which are placed on the dashboard itself or inside the bonnet based upon the design consideration, and later it gets converted into the low voltage, and this is how the entire system works in complete synergy, in synchronized mode, and the vehicles runs smoothly. Second thing, there is a explicit advantages of battery operated vehicles. There is a zero emission, number one. Running cost, as I said, except the upfront cost of the battery, there will be no huge the cost. So the cost is playing an important role because the cost is the the factor which is attracting the people and the adoption part of electric vehicles. So in year 2008, when the oil prices were hiked beyond the US dollar, right? So all of a sudden people started again rethinking about the electric vehicle and the solution related to the sustainable aspect, sustainable solution of this transportation, and there it comes into the picture. So the cost is an important role. So that I was talking about the advantages. So that one of the advantages is the cost. So the running cost of the vehicle is almost, you can say, 1/10 of the IC engine cost, running cost of the any conventional vehicle. The third thing is that the vehicle it's also become safer if you considering the aspect of battery or what the systems which are being implemented right now or in nowadays with the help of technology or BMS, that the vehicles are safe, because the almost all the vehicle manufacturers are keeping this battery and the very lower part of the chassis, and because of that lower part, the first advantage is that the extremely good center of gravity location, what they will achieve, and that one is the biggest advantage for the maneuverability of the vehicle, the you can say the running of the vehicle as well as the controlling of the vehicle. So that is a one advantage which can be availed with the help of this battery pack system if you integrate. And the manufacturers like Tesla, they have already started manufacturing of this kind of chassis having a very tiny cell inbuilt into this system, and they will also trying to reduce the overall production cost of the vehicle. So if it is being manufactured integratedly, then it will also curb the price of the vehicle and probably will give the cheaper car compared to the other supply. And because of this breakthrough only, they are still the global, you can say, the leader in the car manufacturing, electric car manufacturing. So the another part which I was talking about is a thermal system, or you can say the kind of cooling system being used in this electric vehicles. So this thermal system will continuously monitor the temperature of different battery packs which are mounted in series or in parallel system, and it will continuously gather the data during the operation of electric vehicles. But all I can say is that the most difficult part is that the charging of this particular vehicle, and for that what things are being done and what things are in pipeline, that also I will discuss. So till now there is a charging station. So if in India, if I say there are around 200 or 250 charging stations are available, but government has setting up the target of creating, or we can say the establishing the center charging stations around 2000 plus 2500 plus centers they are planning by year 2020. So this will also create the impact and will create an awareness in the mind of people who want to buy the vehicle, electric vehicle. The another option, the system which I am saying in Indian context, if I say, then there is a complete comprehensive ecosystem is required, and the government has already started and taking the initiative and started in this direction of setting up this kind of infrastructure, and where they are planning to establish the concept of energy operators. So basically energy operators is just like refueling stations. With every third street of the city or town, you will get the charging station, where there will be a fully charged battery packs are available. Just driver has to walk in, or just they have to drive through the particular station where the energy operators will be there, and they will just swap the batteries and will give you the fully charged batteries. Some system will be there, parallel system which will give the cost, will consider the costing part, the battery life, all such things will be taken care. That is some sort of administrative work which is being done, because in India we have to have the consideration like this. So this swapping of batteries is, I think, the most prominent solution for the countries like India, but all we need to is that to build this kind of infrastructure all over the country, because people are expecting more and more stations nearby to their places, and for that, as I said, every second or third state, if you able to avail the facility of swapping of the batteries, then easily people can go for the electric vehicle option. So, as I said, the comprehensive ecosystem is required, and that comprehensive system is about to start, and by year 2030 or 25 to 30 we may get success in this direction particularly. So, the traction motor is a kind of the heart of this electric vehicle, because the motor which is responsible to generate the propulsion or just to bring the vehicle into the motion condition. So, that is also, as I said, PMDC motor, that is a that cost can be reduced by this mass production concept, because till now that the entire market was dominant by the companies like Ford, by the Maruti and other supplier where they are they are selling their vehicles with the good mileage and with the good facility or the interior or the exterior. There are different set of parameters where the vehicle is they are considering during the purchase of the vehicle. So, lithium ion batteries, as I have already said about this, and key issues is basically, as I said, the different charging related issues. So, the solution is also I discussed a little bit, but now we being a citizen, what we can understand or what we can analyze as a layman that I would like to share. That the first is the environment hazard. To combat this against the pollution, we have to have the we have to show the readiness to switch our vehicles from conventional to electric vehicles. Anyhow, there will be a challenges like charging, but there are, again, as I said, there are different solutions are available where the different set of chargers are available, like level 1, level 2, level 3 charger. Level 3 is of fast charger, level 2 is of moderate charger till to 240 volt DC chargers that can also serve purpose. 6 to 8 hours is the time taken by this any vehicle, by the electric vehicle. Apart from four-wheeler, if you consider to the population of India, so India is also the most promising, the youngest country, right, where the youth is quite impressive strength we have for the youngsters, right. So, the youngsters are basically using two-wheelers for the daily transportation, for the routine operations. So, the countries like India, where the maximum youngest youth is there, the young age people are available, and they are using their particular day to day operations, they are using the two-wheelers. So, the two-wheelers can also be an option with an electric vehicle, like the companies like Ather. They are actively working and develop the different models for this particular youth generation or the youngster for their college use, for their daily routine activities and for the personal use. So, these two-wheelers are also create a the revolution in terms of adoption, where the Indian segment or Indian suppliers are looking forward. So, currently there are 2-3 different startups which are there. One is Ather Energy. Along with them, there will be Yulu Motors. They are also working on this, where they are developing the different two-wheelers. Then Yo Bikes is also one solution, and where it's very popular, having a BLDC motor. The range is also good and the speed is also impressive, 40-45. While I'm talking about the Ather bike, then Ather bike is having a 80 kilometers the top speed and will give the as good as performance as the conventional petrol engine two-wheeler like Activa or any other two-wheeler. So, challenges, as I said, so challenges, one is the component. The mass production of each and every component is required. For that, dedicated plant facility is required. As I said, the Tesla is doing, and they have their gigafactory. Only 30% of the this company is under working condition. Remaining 70 is under still commissioning, but still they have created the huge impact all over the world. So, these components is the key challenges, like the motors, chargers, battery management system, support solution, after service, and if you go for this charging also, there will be EV charging infrastructures. Like some turnkey challenges will come, some turnkey EV charging systems are required to set up infrastructure solutions that will, you know, serve the purpose of energy operators. Swapping of batteries can be easily done. Is every third street of the, you know, town you will get the solution. This kind of, you know, ecosystem is required in coming time. Software solution, because now everything is done by the mobile. So like as I said, is in even two-wheeler also they are giving with the app. That app will show you where the vehicle is parked, you know, how the range is, you know, calculated, how much range is yet to complete. All such things will be on your mobile screen. The third challenge is the OEMs, that is the original equipment manufacturers, like companies like, you know, who are, you know, leader in the manufacturing or automobile manufacturing, are also required to take active participation for the manufacturing of electric vehicles, well, specifically multi-utility vehicles. On the contrary, if you look at to the companies like Uber, Ola, where they are also doing a fleet management, and they are having their different fleet, the huge fleet, they can also invest in this particular, you know, technology, that is a battery electric vehicle technology, and they can also take the active participation, and they can also help the government and the other users to for the adoption or for faster adoption. Efficient and effective e-rickshaws, that is also a key area where we can have this solution by using in day-to-day life. So OEMs is one of the challenge. The turnkey solutions for the motor, charging battery technologies, that electric buses, you know, heavy duty vehicles, all such things can be you know, progressively approached after the implementation. So this is the Indian electric vehicle market, and as I said, these 4 challenges are evolving around, and we can get the read if we systematically go further, and we can achieve. So the different drivers are there. Driver, I would say, the critical factors or the parameters which are affecting the industry technological development. That is a battery electric vehicle. Fuel cells. Fuel cell is another option where they can go and they can ask for this solution. Fuel cell electric vehicles, plug-in hybrid electric vehicle, right? IC engine vehicles. Some policy and regulation is also required to frame or draft in context with the electric vehicles. Cost optimization can be done, energy density and its range, as I said, for the battery development, charging times, you know, the number of hours needs to be you know, reduced or squeezed in order to, you know, increase the range anxiety. Charging infrastructure, customer structure, EV purchasing cost, there would be some provision. I think government has already given some subsidies under FAME, that is a scheme laid down, started in 2001, where the students and the young generations are getting the subsidy for buying the electric vehicles, two-wheeler, and the acceptance. This is how all the things are evolved specifically as a critical factors in this Indian auto market. So major startup, as I said, for the specific two-wheeler, Ather Energy as well as Yulu, then Ola Electric Mobility, Battery, Smarty, eTrio, all these 5-6 you know startups are, you know, very promising in the field of electric vehicles, especially the countries like our India. So at the last, I would just summarize the, you know, the application part. So battery electric vehicles, as I said, the future is coming sooner than we think, and for that only that electric revolution is required in the country like India, and for that the work has already begun, and people and the OEMs have got significant breakthrough even, and there are, you might have seen the number of cars in Indian roads also. That is one is that Hyundai Kona, Tata Nexon, Tata Tigor, even Tata Tiago is also under the pilot testing by the Tata. MG ZS EV is also there, and there will be a Maruti WagonR. They are also going for planning for this launch in the next year. So with this I conclude this session. Thank you.